Last part, this is the end. For this reaction here, it's already balanced. We have, if we look at this, we have 2 Ks on this side, we have 2 Ks on this side, we have 2 bromines on this side, and we have 2 bromines on this side. And so we're going to use that to answer the questions on your worksheet. A, is this a chemical or a physical change? Remember, this is a chemical change because you're starting with potassium and bromine gas, and you're ending with just one substance. So it has actually changed. It's not a physical change like you might have if you have, just as a reminder, if we have H2O liquid and we boil it and it becomes H2O gas. Okay, that would be physical. So this is chemical because we do not have the same thing on both sides. The reactants are what we start with. So we have the potassium and the bromine are our reactants. Products, what we end with. So we have KBr. Is KBr ionic or covalent? If you look at your periodic table, you see that potassium, K, is a metal, therefore it is ionic. In the balanced equation shown, how many atoms of potassium do you start with? Well, you would start with 2 because you have 2, coefficient 2 in front of the K, so you'd have 2 potassiums. Same equation up here. If in the balanced equation shown, how many ions of potassium do you end with? So we have 2 potassium, and I'm going to go back to the, okay, I'm not going back to the other slide because it was doing weird stuff, but on E, it asked, in the balanced equation shown, how many atoms of potassium do you start with? We said 2. And here it says, how many do you end with? 2. In the balanced equation shown, how many atoms of bromine do you start with? That's right here, indicated by the subscript. We know it's 2. How many ions of bromide do you end with? When we're naming, we and the anions with an IDE. And, of course, we have 2, and that's what makes it balanced. Then it says, if you had 4 atoms of potassium and lots of bromine, how many potassium bromide formula units would you get? Well, if we look at this, we can see there's a ratio. We're going to start out with 2 potassiums, 1 bromine molecule, to 2 KBr. And so this says if you had 4 atoms of potassium, how many potassium bromide would you get? Well, here, as many atoms of potassium you start with, that's how many KBRs that you get. So if you started out with 4, you would get 4. But here it says if you started out with 4 molecules of bromine, here, and lots of potassium, how many potassium bromide formulas would you get? Well, it shows here that the bromine, Br2, is a 1-to-2 ratio with the KBr. And so you're going to get twice as many. And so if we start out with 4, we're going to get 8. I think that's it, young men. And if you have any questions, let me know.